You can. So, John, would you like to begin? We've already spoken about the first show.
Okay, yes. And for those
no.
people that came in late, this is the Stiff Ladies Mantle at Dunburan, South Coast. And it's extremely rare in North America, being the only spot in North America that we know of. And it's very rare as an alien in England even. And these things are native to the Caucasus of, between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. So how they got in Buran, I don't know. It is a harbor, but anyway, so and just to make one quick point, and then I'll carry on. There's a book put out by the Botanical Society of Britain and Ireland recently on the Ladies' Mantle of Britain and Ireland, and I don't know if you can see that. I've held it up. It's a real good book, and actually there's 3 or 4 pictures by Susan, my wife, and me in that book on this particular species. So it's a very interesting find. Okay, off we go. And this is just sort of housekeeping. And
ow.
So now, if people want to talk about their pictures, that'd be great. I'll just stand aside and let people talk. Okay, is Judith Blakely there?
I haven't seen her come in. No, I'm
If
afraid
not,
not.
if not, we'll just go. If Judith is there. So this is Point Peely Woods up in Ontario.
Oh, I don't see it.
You don't?
Okay.
Oh no, I see it now.
Okay, there's the delay, so I'll try and work with that. Okay. So this is a large flowered trillium.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Okay.
Jack in the pulpit.
Jack in the pulpit.
May apple.
May apple.
Eastern flowering dogwood coming.
Okay.
And appendage water leaf.
Mm-hmm.
And a fox, wild blue fox.
We're still on the dogwood, John.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Butterfly. Yeah. Flux.
Lovely.
Okay.
Herb Robert
Herb
coming.
there. Right. Yep. Here. Okay.
Columbine.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
Okay.
Now, I've never heard of this one before, but the hoary pacoon. Nanny berry coming.
Okay.
The viburnum.
Okay.
Philadelphia fleabane coming.
Here. It's here.
What does it do?
A large false Solomon seal.
Here.
An orchid.
Here.
Giant Solomon seal.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Good. Here.
White campion. Yeah, I'll just go with your here's.
Okay. Here.
Gorgeous.
Spotted geranium.
Here.
Mm.
Michael Brzezinski, are you there?
Don't recall that he came, John. No.
Okay, well, we'll go through Michael's.
Okay.
Lovely shot coming in
Not there yet.
blue joint
Here.
grass,
Oh,
blue joint grass, and the yellow lysomachia loosestrife. Quite a lovely light there.
lovely.
African lily coming.
Here.
Mm. Excuse me.
Kangaroo paw coming.
Here.
Oh,
It's amazing what's in Michael and Anne's garden, you know.
yes, isn't it?
Yes. Mhm. Beautiful.
Another Jack in the Pulpit coming.
Here.
Yeah, there's a little bug on that one.
Not
Last one.
darker.
Hey,
Now the next one is interesting. It's coming. It's the Newfoundland
Here.
chickweed. It's very rare, and it's found on the Serpentine Barrens on the west coast of Newfoundland, Grossmore National Park, and up near St. Anthony in the Serpentine. It's in behind there, I think it is, and it's quite unique for Newfoundland.
Mm.
Creeping wintergreen coming, or
Here.
capillary.
Oh,
Oh,
my.
Newfoundlanders quite often call it capillary. Little tiny little flowers, it's the size of a half a split pea there,
Oh,
and
my
they're
goodness.
very waxy looking. And they're down underneath the leaves, and you got to kind of look upwards to see them, and look at the crazy hairs on the leaves.
That's an amazing
Mm.
photo. Holy.
Now the next one, it's probably not there coming. It's titled guttation. It's when drops of sap exude from the tips of the leaf edges.
Huh.
This is on
Mm.
Arctic kiwi fruit. Don't ask me. I don't know what kiwi fruit is doing in the Arctic, but again, it's something else from Michael's garden. And this one, the odd expression is explained by
Here.
the bottom lines. This is on our chocolate pear walk up at Signal Hill.
I like your hat.
Yeah, but that's the Tilly hat. Tilly hat.
Yes,
Here.
yes, it is.
Yep.
Mm.
Butternut coming.
That is here. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, and butternut is they're
Lovely.
quite big trees, and I remember seeing a whole wall of these trees up in
no,
North
I'm
Sydney.
watching something important. Later, what you're saying?
Yeah, up in Sydney, there's a whole row of them by a parking lot. They're huge, some of them.
from New Brunswick.
Okay, so that's sea limegrass coming up at Shallow Bay, Grossmore.
Oh, yes.
Mm.
Here.
Oh,
That's lovely.
Wow.
Nice,
okay.
not nice, yeah. Same thing coming, but it's later in the season. Okay.
No, not yet. Same picture.
Oh, this is a slow one.
Yeah.
We see the lime grass here. Yeah, we do.
Okay,
Yeah.
boy, that was slow.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah,
nice
it's-
lichens in the tablelands coming in a minute.
Lovely. Golly.
Here.
Oh,
Those
look at that.
those greeny looking ones are called geographic lichen or something similar to that
Mm.
because people think they look like maps.
Mm,
Now,
that's beautiful.
next one coming is still in Michael's garden, and it's a Himalayan blue poppy when that
Oh.
comes.
Here,
Oh.
beautiful.
Remember seeing that
Wow.
down in his garden?
Yeah.
Yes.
Water blue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's some in the garden, botanical gardens.
Yes,
Sometimes
lots.
Yes.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
blue ones
Yeah.
and purple ones and
Yeah.
white ones and
Yeah.
monochrome carpet ones.
Yeah.
And you sell
Yeah, we were-
seeds.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
were
we
all
just sowed
named.
them the other day, actually.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
Now, this is
you
from
work in this too?
Portugal.
Wow.
Michael's trip to Portugal, I guess. And
Yeah.
this is a bee orchid.
Yes, I thought that was Portugal. We have the same picture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It looks like a
if-
bee.
For those of you that live in St. John's, down along what's the road? Kingsbridge, not Kingsbridge Road. Oh dear. It's down just below the Basilica, one street down. I think it's there's an apartment. It's called B Orchis Terrace or something.
Oh, huh.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's down somewhere near the old church there before you get to Rollins Cross on
Gower
the lower
Street.
road.
Yeah.
No, not that. Yeah, one up.
Be-
Anyway. So lovely things. And what's coming now? You probably saw in Michael's
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Here.
trip, parasitic plant broom rape,
my goodness.
and then it's coming up is
Yeah.
peonies in Michael's garden.
Here.
I say Michael's. It's Michael Arhan.
That's Michael's garden, I think.
Mm. Mm.
Now, this is coming up. It's actually not a flower. It's moss,
Oh, here.
Oh,
and it's Pilitricum moss. And these are mosses tend to be either male or female plants, and these are males. And these sort of star-shaped things on the top contain male plant parts and have pollen that goes and
that's beautiful.
not pollen,
picture.
sperm comes out of them, and it sort of splatters around on these little pads when it rains and stuff, and flips over to, hopefully to a female, and then from the female plant up grows the little hair caps and stuff that you see sticking up,
Ah,
and they're
Mm.
what make the spores. So this is a male sexual plant, and the spore things that often have the caps, they're actually the spore part of the life cycle, I guess. They go back and forth.
Isn't nature grand?
Yes.
amazing.
So coming out now is Pulsatilla, the white pasque flower.
Here.
Mhm.
And the next one, when it comes, is really colorful. Michael's garden in spring.
Mhm.
Kind of blow your mind.
Mm. Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Ah.
Oh, that's a happy Daphne. Holy,
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
it is. Yeah.
it's
What
gonna
a
smell
painting.
good too.
Yeah.
That Daphne.
Mm.
Now Caramel
Yeah.
says she can't come tonight. There's some
No.
obligations, so I'll just run through them.
She may come later, but we can't
Okay.
wait. Yeah, don't wait for her. Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
And when this comes through, up on Mount Sile, there's a community farm. A lot of people don't know it's there. You sort of
Here.
could drive right by the end of the driveway, and you wouldn't even know it's there. But you
Oh.
can go in there. People have their little garden plots and stuff, and this is there. Yeah.
I think that's
So-
the one that's called Brother McSheffrey,
Probably
the
is.
community garden. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 awesome.
Anyway,
Yeah.
and Bittersweet
Oh,
Nightshade,
here,
Virginia River
lovely.
is caramel again.
You don't usually see that variety of colors like that, do you?
Different
Or do you?
different
So,
maturity of the plants,
Yeah.
Yeah.
of the berries. They're different.
Yeah.
Like the green ones, I think, are fresh, and then they go reddish.
Mm.
very
Like
nice.
peppers.
Yeah, yeah. Or tomatoes, of course, related. But so okay, so when this comes up, this is sort of an amazing plant. This particular one, I think, is in the botanical garden, sort of down in the shady place to the left, where you sort of go down that funny path. I think that's where that one is. And this is the giant butterbur.
Here, yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
in the woodland garden.
Yes, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's
People
actually
actually
it's actually in the sort of the, we'll say, related to dandelions and stuff, believe it or not, but it's
Yeah. And people in Japan eat the new flowers as they come
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're really big, or they can
Huge.
be.
Yes.
So, and this is one of the coming up is one of the fanciest flowers we have on tree in St.
It's here.
John's.
That is here,
Yeah.
the horse chestnut. Yes.
Horse chestnut,
Yes.
quite
Yeah.
quite.
You see it.
I don't know what you
Yeah.
call it. It's busy.
Yes, the horse chestnut.
Yeah.
We as kids used to take the nuts and punch holes through them, put a string on it, and swing them around and hit people with them over the
Oh.
head. We call them conkers. Conkers.
Oh, yes. Yeah, sure.
Especially your sisters, I bet.
Yeah. Now, if it comes or it's coming, this is hosta leaves dying in the fall.
Here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
quite colorful.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Now, when this one comes up, I don't know where Carol took this. There's some of them down on the walk above Kitty Vitty Lake
Here.
that goes up
Yeah.
through the woods up to Virginia Lake. Sometimes you get them up there.
Please.
Red
Tons. Oh, sorry. Tons at the
Right.
garden too.
Yeah,
Just we're overrun.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And one of
Oh,
my
here.
favorite combinations is the Rosa rugosa, the shrub rose, especially when it's snug down between a bunch of grasses and stuff. It could be quite a nice display.
Lovely.
Yes.
And
Mm.
fall is a lovely time to go out and photograph. Some people pack up their cameras by this time, but it's a wonderful time to go out.
Here.
Cinnamon ferns,
Ah,
Boise's Brook Park, another lovely place to walk down. It's down near Portugal Cove, if you don't know. Good walking trails there. And fireweed in the fall can be lovely too.
mm.
And slow.
When we see it.
And
Here.
slow.
Yes.
Some pictures are faster than others. Anyway,
Mhm.
and
Here.
this is the little hedge bindweed, the white one. And this is my understanding is that this is basically European, and there's a similar one you see along tops of beaches and stuff quite often. It's sort of like pink hot cross buns kind of pattern on the flower, pink and white. But this is the white one.
Here.
Now the other day I was emailing a friend of mine who lives in South Korea, out on a little island called Jeju, and he was telling me of all the tulip trees that are around. Well, we got them out in Barring Park.
Yeah.
We just planted one at the garden too. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a lovely walk, Todd.
And in a minute, another shot from the botanical garden. I hope that's a red maple.
Mm.
Japanese red maple. Oh, that's what it is.
Here.
Oh,
Pardon?
I love that.
So that's Caramel's flower pictures,
Wonderful.
but we're gonna have a look at some pictures she took on the Geo Center chocolate pear walk that we have in St. John's every June, or if it's even out by June. But these are just magnificent displays of chocolate pear flowers, amelanchiers. That's, for those of you that don't know, that's Cabot Tower up at the very top.
Not yet.
Not yet, no.
We're waiting.
Yeah. Oh, this must.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's the
Maybe
most.
so.
I think the slowness is more to do with how complicated the picture is,
Here.
not how
Yes.
big the.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
But we go out every June just because it's there. Down below, you see a little bit of I think Rhodora coming out.
Rhododendron is what it
Yeah,
was
we
too.
saw some of it this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brings it all
and
back.
we're lucky that Glenn Ryan takes us out most all the time on these walks. And this past year,
Here.
we were lucky that Michael and Ann made it in from Grossmore to a Signal Hill St. John's walk.
Yes, it was
They'd never, I
wonderful.
don't think they'd ever seen the display up at the Geo Center.
No.
And about chocolate pears, we sort of think we kind of understand them, but every year we go up there, we just sort of have to think, what
Here.
was that? What was that thing? Oh yes, look, there's hairs there. Oh no, there's not hairs there. Oh, there's this, but they're tricky to identify. But we have several species up there.
And that is
Tricky
right at
for the
parking lot.
experts.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
tricky for the experts.
Yeah.
And that's the crew or the crowd that were there that
Not
day.
yet. Not yet. Sorry.
No, but I'm just preparing you, see?
Here.
There, oh, there
Okay.
we are.
It's a good
Yeah.
crowd.
Yeah, that's a complicated picture, so it takes longer. So anyway, that's the crew.
Oh, yes, I was late.
Yeah. And so Caramel's great at taking pictures on our walks.
Yeah,
And so
she
in
is
a
so.
minute, you'll see
Yeah.
one
looks
of our trips out to Boring Park in St. John's to
Here.
see trees.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that was Todd. We're getting all revved up, and here he goes, maple flowers.
It looks like he's doing a jig.
I think he's trying to hypnotize it myself.
Doing a jig.
Yeah.
Here.
And that's Anne, I'm told. Anne Madden
Not yet.
hiding behind
Oh.
maple oak leaves.
And
Oh,
that,
here. Yes.
I'm actually trying to get a picture of it. That's what I'm doing. Yep.
Yeah, the trick in this one is not to identify the plant, it's to identify the person inside.
yes, that's funny.
And there's all kinds of trees in
Yeah.
Boring Park that are of interest, including horse
Yeah.
chestnut trees, and that's Anne and Brian coming up.
Here. Yes.
There you are.
Yeah. And as Caramel does, she takes pictures all the time at these walks, which is great.
Here.
I still, honest to God, I talk to people and sometimes I don't know who they are, but anyway, they're there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Okay.
we also have walks in other places. This last August, we took a traipse around the Upper Rennies River trails with Howard Clace.
And Howard is here.
Howard, hi
Tonight?
Howard.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Howard will be seen here
Yeah.
inspecting. I guess it's a dogberry tree. I think. Yeah, it was a nice morning. And
Yes.
the next picture, when it comes, I don't know what we were looking at, but we certainly thought it was interesting.
Here.
And so now when you say here, do I snap it off
Mhm.
too quickly?
No, it's just finally arrived.
Okay, it's good. Yeah, but
Yeah.
when you say
Here.
here, stays there long enough to see, right? I'm not-
Yes, except we switched to another one. We have the group again on the trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Leslie Day, I don't
I'm
know if
here.
Leslie's here.
Yes.
Okay, in a minute now, you can talk about
Oh,
whatever you
here.
like. Yeah,
Beautiful.
talk about whatever you like. Or not.
Okay, yeah. So I just sent some pictures in. I just joined this group, so I've been taking pictures for a while. This is one of the ones I just like the light in this picture. So
Yeah,
this was out
Mm.
in Brook. I'm out in Corner Brook, so most of mine are from the West Coast.
yep. Yeah, that's Corner Book, all right. May the 30th. Oh my goodness.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah,
And this one, I really like this. I had never seen a cracker berry or bunch berry like this, just so square. So I thought it was neat. So I just took a picture.
just
Yes.
hasn't quite opened out the bracts.
Yeah, just about to open. Yeah. That was just up in the trail in Corner Brook, right in Corner Brook.
It's different.
Here.
And this is Sea Thrift up in the Tablelands up in Grossmorn. So I do jaunt up there fairly often. And yeah, so I figured I'd put a few flowers on from the West Coast.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Mm.
Oh.
Oh,
And this one I found actually my husband comes with me a lot, and like he's kind of like my scout. So we went up to see some actually some yellow lady slippers up by the quarry in Corner Brook, and he wandered off and came back. He has a little flip phone, and he had this image of a plant, and I was like, "Gosh, I'm not sure what that is." Anyway, he couldn't find it again, and we took about an hour and a half to find it again, and then I went back. I think we went back 5 times waiting for it to bloom. So it finally bloomed for us. So it was nice. There was a few. There's probably maybe 8 or 10 plants there, I think. So
Yeah.
it's nice.
It's
to see.
lovely.
Now,
it was worthwhile. Mm.
yeah,
Yeah,
this is actually a very rare plant in Newfoundland.
Ah,
yeah,
Sort of a limestone area thing. And
yes.
yeah, I can't remember now if it's on the species at risk list or not, but anyway, it's pretty rare.
Beautiful picture.
it is. Mhm.
Here.
Oh, yeah,
And-
we've seen those on the limestone.
Yeah.
Yes, this is also from the Tablelands.
The tablelands, I mean.
Yeah, the Alpine Catchfly.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
was a nice one too.
Alpine catchfly.
Gorgeous. Mm.
Yeah, the color is so you
Here.
immediately see it.
And this
Oh,
is just Dragon's Mouth on a bog. There's a lot of nice big bogs that are around here, around Stephenville area. So that was just a nice little bunch. And
yeah.
actually, that day there
Gorgeous.
was so many of these on the bog. The bog was actually
Oh.
just covered with these orchids. So
Wow.
it's nice.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Beautiful.
And that's good. I find they're hard to take a picture of because they're like never looking at the camera.
I agree. Yeah.
You just got to talk to them and they'll turn right to you.
Taco?
Engage them.
Mhm.
It's the little bunches that draw your attention, but when you get there, like you said, they're all going different ways.
This is a rare one.
Here.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
this is Mackenzie Sweet Vetch, which is up on Cape St. George. And
Yeah,
so
it's-
I usually take several trips out there during the summer. And this is one of the images of that one that I captured.
Yeah, this is quite a rare one in Newfoundland. It's quite restricted to certain limestone areas.
Here.
And that's also out on Cape St. George as well. So many yellow lady slippers out around there. Just driving out to the Cape as well. Like they're kind of like dandelions almost at some times of the year. But this one, I like this one. It came out neat with the blue sky behind it.
Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And it looks so different.
Yeah, they look
Mm.
really fat.
That's lovely. Yeah.
Here.
Oh,
Yeah, and I just like this image. This is up at Point Rich, and it's just a harebell, of course, but they're so tiny, growing up
Mhm.
amongst the limestone gravel. It was in the
Mm.
evening. I thought it was just a neat picture.
This
Beautiful.
one used to be called species rotundifolia, and then they changed it to Geisekiana, and then they changed it back to rotundifolia. So I don't know. Call it what you like.
Yeah.
that is beautiful.
Yes.
This next one is maybe
Yeah.
my favorite.
Mhm.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, this is the island gentian, and that's also at Point Rich. Same. We've been going up to Burnt Cape every year now for the last 4 or 5 years, and our first stop usually is we stay in Port au Choix for the first night, and so that's in the evening out there.
That's where we saw them. By the
Leslie,
parking lot, actually.
we
Yes.
must have been there on the same day.
Oh,
That word Nisophila actually means island loving. The
Ah.
island of gentian.
Yes.
Mm.
Here.
Now,
Oh,
now for the weirdos.
Mhm.
and this is the naked miterwort. This was up on Burnt Cape as well. I just threw this in because it's so hard. I capture all my pictures now on my cell phone. Actually, I gave up taking my camera, and so sometimes they're hard to get the smaller ones with a cell phone. But this one wasn't too bad.
We were
That's
there on the
amazing.
same day too.
Same day too.
That's a gorgeous picture.
Yes.
It is.
So many tries to get that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, and this was one of the highlights for me of the trip. On the way down, we always stop in different places and go down different roads. And I'm not even sure it was. I think it's Pond Cove, but we actually drove in a road and kind of went out to the ocean. And as we were driving back, I just caught this glimpse of something purple into the woods. So we stopped and we crawled down through the woods. And when we came out, there was just literally this sea of
Yes,
irises. Like it was huge how many were there. I couldn't believe it. So it was
Mm.
quite beautiful.
Here.
Now this is another one I saw. This was out at Cook's Harbor, and I'd never seen a white iris, so I was a bit intrigued by that one as well. So I thought I'd share that. Is that common,
Wow.
John?
No, I don't know if I've ever seen one either.
Yeah, that's the
Wow.
first time I've seen it. Yeah.
It's
Beautiful.
nice. Mm.
Here.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
And this is just some ghost pipe that I saw when we were down to Codroy, and they just happened to be like perfect, I guess.
Yes.
And there was
Yeah,
many
but-
there in the trail. There was just a little trail there by the interpretation center, across from the interpretation center.
As they get older, they turn upwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Here.
Yeah, this is the European, I guess, or pink century, which it grows out in Port Harmon, out by Stephenville. So I've seen that out to the last few years.
There's
Lovely.
several strange things out around the runways. Different.
Yeah.
unusual.
This is kind of in behind the golf course, I guess.
Yeah.
And this is a black nightshade that's grown over in Wild Cove. And it's just on the old, again, I don't know where it came from, but it's the old Genesis Organics site, I guess, just up from that.
Yeah. I will apologize. I put down perhaps question mark. I figured this was really what it was, but I don't know. It looked a bit odd, but still, black nightshade.
Oh,
Oh,
Jane
Jane
there?
here.
Jane
I
there?
think. Jane, we don't hear you. Are you? I think you're still muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Got it.
yes, we can.
This is the Baldelia that's up in Bristol's Hope. It was a really bad year for them. The water was, it was really dry, if you remember last summer. And when we went, the water was so low, there were only a
That's
few
very small, of course. but
plants in bloom.
you have to be able to translate it into the real thing.
They've shortened up the name on this one, it seems. But one thing about these Baldelias, and Jean, I'm sure you'd agree with me, the petals are incredibly thin. I don't know, 1 or 2 cells thick. It's not very thick.
Yeah, a lot of times you can almost see through them if it's rained a little bit and the petals are wet.
Yeah,
They're almost translucent then. So
and I tried to collect a few to press, and they'd shrivel up before I could even get them to the press. So what I ended up having to do is take a pocketbook and press the flower in the pocketbook right at the pond, and then carry it up to the press. It's so thin, so amazingly thin. So
Here,
yes,
Yeah.
we see it, Jane.
you see it? Oh, you
Yes.
got that?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes,
bush
blueberry.
Oh,
Jane,
Mhm.
are you with us?
yes, it's just blueberry blossoms.
Yeah.
They're pretty.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
gotta-
what a crowd.
you got to be careful if you see stuff like that with smaller leaves and slightly shorter urns, because there's the little boreal blueberry. It's quite cute.
It is. Lovely.
Now this is a big snarl, this one.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
It's
It's the
beautiful.
way the dandelion look. If you lay down and look at them really up close, they're quite pretty. So
I wouldn't have even said it was a dandelion. Wow. It's beautiful.
Quite an amazing snarl up.
Isn't it? Oh, a spider.
Yeah.
Wow.
Honey cottongrass. I guess that's the common garden spider, but it's hard to know.
it's the hourglass. The
Yeah,
name
yeah.
is gone.
Yeah.
Anyway. And this is down at Kenny's Pond in St. John's, but every time when the fireweed comes out, the skippers come out like crazy for a while.
Mm.
Yeah. So they're European skipper, I suppose. How do they get here? They come across, or are they just
I don't know,
Introduced.
John.
maybe they're introduced?
There's certainly a lot of them around. When they're out, there are hundreds of them.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
that's in Harbor Grace near the Amelia Earhart.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, little park there.
yeah. Down by the swampy bits, eh?
Yes. Where the Kyle is looking at that, and that's again Kenny's Pond. I think that's obviously introduced,
Yeah,
but
Kenny's Pond has the
they're always
yellow.
really pretty when they come out there.
There was
Yeah.
we missed them this year.
Yeah. Yeah, there are not too many
Like
spots
that.
not too many spots of this in Newfoundland, but one place I don't know if you know the Dune Lodge down in Black Duck Brook, sort of up towards Steenville.
Yeah.
If you go down behind the lodge, down by the sort of a swampy little river, it's full of it down there in the woods.
I have to check that out this year.
Out behind.
You're talking about the yellow iris being down there.
Yeah.
They're also in the space between Murray's Pond and the road.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
They grow there.
Yes.
I didn't realize how hard they are to get out, but at midnight one time many years ago, I went down thinking I'd get a bunch and digging them out, and they're so hard to get out.
Yeah.
You're right.
this is just the leopard marsh ochre. It's down. There used to be a lot up below the golf course, but there's almost none left up there now. But in behind the Howley building on Higgins Line and St. John's again, there's quite a good patch that comes up almost every year
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Mm.
These have become really common at around Corner Brook as well.
Huh.
They're just growing everywhere now.
Yeah.
But they're
Interesting. Corner
different
Brook.
than the Tilt Cove ones, though.
Yes. What next?
Butter and eggs.
Yeah. But that's the mountain holly. I'm always amazed at how small. You talked about small blossoms of something earlier, that these hardly look like they have any blossoms at all when you're standing looking at the plants. So
Hmm.
Ah.
it's ladies' thumb. I like the story about the thumbprint on the leaves. So I like getting pictures that have both the blossoms and the thumbprint. So
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Dirty old thumb, I guess. Must have been.
It looks like, yes. Pin cherry.
some kind of little fly in there. I don't know what it is, but it's just the two kinds of cherries we get. They're actually quite attractive when you look them up close.
People always ask, how do you tell them apart? Well, the pin cherries are, just think of a pin cushion. The flowers come out at all angles from a center spot, whereas these ones are in a longer array. But if they look like a pin cushion coming out of one spot, it's pin cherry.
The pincher. Yeah, I know it.
That was
Really?
from our Rodora walk, as I think of it, and up at the Geo Center.
Yes. Gorgeous.
I guess this is yours, Michael. I hope I didn't mix. Gene, I hope I didn't mix this one up.
No, that was mine.
Okay.
Flower Park.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Jean, beautiful.
These are they're
Where are
not
they
wild.
found?
This is in Bowring Park, but I'm always happy when they come out because I actually climbed through a big deep snowbank to get these pictures. So they come out when there's still a lot of snow around. So it's nice to see something in bloom.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a curly witch hazel tree. Would this have the same blossoms?
Do you mean the contorta, the Henry Lauder's walking stick, Susan?
Did you just say, it's hard hearing. Did you just say the name, the Latin name of the tree?
Oh, it's Corylus avellana contorta.
Okay,
The
I don't know the Latin name of it, but I've had the tree for 20 years and I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
it has like super twisty stalks.
I can't tell you. I don't
Oh.
think I've ever even seen it.
Yeah. If you're in St. John's, you want to see those. The red ones. There's two kinds. There's a red one and a kind of a yellowish one. The red one is
I
just
surely will be looking this year. Wow.
yeah, just up from where the road splits when you come in over the bridge from the
It's just up from the washrooms
up from the washrooms. Yeah.
or also the horse watering tank. It's just up the trail from that, and the other one is down near where the caribou is.
Yeah.
The yellow one is down in the little down there.
Karen.
Okay.
More fireweed. Fireweed is everywhere, and I just like it. So
Yes.
yes,
Has anybody made the jam?
no. But
No.
this makes the bees
I
happy.
eat
Maybe the bees are eating some jam.
Yes, look at that.
No,
Yeah.
maybe that's a wasp, but anyway, maybe it's a bee.
Oh well, maybe. Maybe it's making the wasp happy.
No, I might have said B. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, and the Devil's Paintbrush, that's just like across the street from where we are. So hawkweed is always pretty.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most intense oranges, you know.
Yes.
It's really orange. So this,
To have so many on.
Yeah.
yeah, this is Howard. I don't know if Howard's certainly.
Mm.
There was a giant hawkweed walk in August, and
Right.
you can see out behind Howard. There's the top of a giant hogweed.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a better picture of Howard from about 10 years ago, but I couldn't find it. But this picture was Howard this past summer, and it just shows you how tall the giant hawkweed is.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah,
that's the flower head.
and that's the flower.
Oh.
Yes. And this, of course, is the plant that you don't touch or cut or rub on your body because it's dangerous. And this is what they do to it at O'Brien's farm. They chop it off. I think the idea is that, and Howard told us this too, that if you cut it from when it's flowering, they hope it wouldn't flower again another year. So they really don't like it. Yeah.
We have to remember that. Chop it off.
I like it. Actually,
be
I think it's
dangerous, though.
interesting. Only dangerous if you chop it off and rub the chopped part on your body or put the chopped part in your eyes. You shouldn't be doing that to plants. Just leave them alone. I
But you
think.
know,
Yeah.
there's lots of dangerous things on Earth. I mean, there,
I
you know,
agree.
rattlesnakes and who knows what all, and they don't
Yeah.
cover rattlesnakes over with netting.
No. This is the snow fencing at the O'Brien's farm before they could, I don't know, just trying to keep you further away from it. So it's beware of the hogweed. Yeah.
O'Brien's farm apparently has a problem.
Yeah. Well, they do have children, I guess, that might walk through, but still, children might not read the sign. And then this is, I think this is more helpful because at least on the, what we call the Hindu Temple Trail off Torvay Road, the city explains why you shouldn't touch it and lets it grow. So that's more helpful.
No, I agree. I agree. I think it's good.
Yeah, but that's the other one. That's the bigger one.
Yeah, that's the giant hogweed again. That's still the giant
the top
hogweed.
isn't cut off.
Yeah. And this was interesting too. At first, we were told maybe it was rhubarb, but of course it's not rhubarb. It's something strange. It's European sweet coltsfoot. And it's also up at the O'Brien's farm. And that sign just talks about parking. But everybody was excited when we saw this because we didn't know what it was. And I think the next picture will have a flower. I imagine that maybe Ali O'Brien or his brothers brought it in from Europe, from England or something.
That's the ugly part of the culture.
It's a very common garden plant in Europe around ponds, especially in England and Ireland.
Yeah. So here's the flower, and actually that is flowering. Oh my, it's pretty homely. The greenery is better than the flower, that's for sure. It's just tiny little petals on those stalks. And I don't think it's good for much except looking at and thinking it's different. Yeah. And I just like this aster because it's like fluffy petals, purple stemmed aster. So, yeah.
Now, is Richard LeBond in the house?
don't think so.
Okay,
No, I'm afraid.
if you don't know Richard LeBlanc, he and
He
oh,
wouldn't be here.
yeah, Richard and oh gosh, I forgot his name now. His friend has got a house up in Little Carpoon.
Mark.
Mark, yes, Mark, yes, that guy. Anyway, Richard LeBlanc is an American. He's famous in Newfoundland for discovering the mountain fern up at Yankee Point near where the Breas are.
Hmm.
He didn't discover it first time. Fernald, the great botanist, found it first many years ago, but nobody could find it since, and Richard found it. Anyway, Richard sent, I guess, a photo essay, and I think I'll just let you read this because the rest of it is pictures more or less, but this is sort of part of the photo essay thingy.
It brought me to tears. This.
Read it?
No.
No,
Are we getting there now? Got it read?
We've got, sure.
Okay, so here we go. Kiger Gorge,
Okay.
one of the
Oh, it's
glacial
like
canyons.
it looks like the side of the road in the park.
Yeah, this is all lava that the glaciers have carved out.
Yeah.
And this little plant on the edge of the cliff, right in the middle, more or less down below the middle, is the Steens Mountain Thistle. Now you might say, oh, that's hard to see. Well, there's close up. What a crazy leaf that this thing is.
Looks like it'd be hard to get down there.
Okay.
Oh,
Mm.
Yeah, go out in the garden, pull all the thistles up. Yeah, perfect.
that's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are all from the same basic place. Yeah. Stone crop sedum.
Table Mountain.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Was that too fast?
No, that's here.
Cushion buckwheat.
Coming.
Coming. Here.
Oh, wow.
Funny color.
Mountain.
Red flowered form.
Which mountain? It says a popular genus on the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as they
Which
said,
mountain was that, please?
Kings.
Here.
Steens Mountain, Oregon. I think Steens Mountain.
Stevens Mountain.
Oh,
Steens
That's
Mountain.
pretty.
Yeah. Sagebrush Mariposa lily.
oh, isn't it beautiful?
And he's quite impressed with the design, which I think is
Here.
not surprising. Penstemon. Rydberg's Penstemon. Very blue. Close up, coming.
Coming. Here.
Quite
Oh.
vivid.
Mm.
Penstemon.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And coming up now is a bunch of beautiful lichens.
It's gorgeous.
And the penstemons are up at the top of this picture with the lichens.
Here.
Mm.
Here.
Blue penstemons up the top and beautiful lichens at the bottom.
Yeah, and these are lichens, of course.
Yeah. And the next one when it comes is a really wild lichen picture. And evidently you'll see from the wording here is that Richard is not so good at lichen identification. just a few more.
Here.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
Oh,
look at that.
lovely.
Oh, so flowers. Scares the hell out of me, he said.
You got the Jackson Pollock one yet?
Here. Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
that's great view.
I
Great.
think it scares the hell out of lichenologists as well, so we're not alone.
Yeah. And then he says, eat your heart out. Jackson Pollock.
Oh, lovely.
Next picture is the crowd that was up there with Richard. And the picture was taken, Mark Premack.
Oh.
That's the guy I was trying to remember who has
Oh,
the
yes.
harpoon.
Okay.
According to
Mm.
Richard, the guy taking the camera was, a picture with the camera was Mark Premack because he had a bigger camera.
Mm.
Now, is Matt in the
Great.
house?
Matt?
Matt
Matt.
Levesque?
He's
Oh.
here.
He's here?
Oh,
He's here.
Present?
Okay, well, I'll let you talk.
Awesome. Now, a lot of these are going to be familiar because I covered some of these in my, I think it was October slideshow. But if you weren't there, these should all be new for you.
Mhm.
Here's the Virginia rose. This one was one of the first ones that show up in my area. Actually, it's next to the shining rose.
mm.
They're very pretty. Ah, yes,
Oh,
the toadflax. This is a very good example, in my opinion, of the hybrid toadflax. You can very clearly see the yellow that comes from the butter and eggs and the stripes. Very well pronounced. It's one of the best I've ever found, actually, but they come in very, very many different forms.
If you're ever down in St. John's in the Waterford Valley in the summertime, along the railway line from about the railway station out to just below the General Protestant Cemetery, there's every possible combination of these
Oh, wow.
toadflaxes.
Huh, well, I'm in St. John's now, so I might have to check that out from somewhere.
Yeah, just up from the railway station all the way out to just below the General Protestant Cemetery on Waterford Beach Road. Is along the railway line.
Okay.
It's full of these things.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Mm.
Here's some bull thistle seeds. These are really really neatly arranged, I thought. You see, they're pretty big. Very puffy, actually, these plants when they make their seeds. And they'll scratch you, too. These, I find, are one of the more bristly thistles out here.
Scottish thistle.
Is my mic loud enough? I don't know if it's cutting in and out or not.
No, it's very good.
Good.
Oh, perfect. Yes, here's the dragon's mouth. This is one of my favorite orchids next to the Platanthera species. These are really nice. They kind of look like begonias at first, if you're not familiar with the difference between the two, like from afar. When I got it close, you'll see this one has more of an open mouth type thing. This one comes in different forms. I've seen one pale form, but this is the more common one.
Yeah, I've seen white ones, pure white.
Oh, cool. Here's a pink lady slipper. This one's nodding after a lot of rain. This was a good year for them. Not as good as last year, because last year was very, very, very wet early on. And there were a bunch. This year, it was not as bad, but not as good. And there were a couple, but not as many.
Nice.
This is interesting coming up.
Yes, this I haven't seen before. This was in on the eastern part of the Avalon. I don't know. It's a town. I don't know if it's pronounced Mobile or Mobile, because I'm thinking Mobile. Perfect.
Mobile.
Okay, it's a small homesteading community, I think. There was this big patch in front of someone's house. I really hope I wasn't trespassing when I took the picture, but I had to get the picture. It was huge. I was just driving by and I was like, it looks like pale fireweed. So I was going around, turn around and looked at, because, you know, my life revolves around flowers, so I got to turn around. And sure enough, we have a big patch of pale fireweed. But unfortunately, it was too windy to get good pictures. So this is about the best I could get.
If you go down into Outer Cove, I think it is, on the Marine Drive and from St. John's out to Outer Cove, and side of the road and sort of like just behind a little fence, sort of just below the houses and the field, there's white ones, big patch of white ones.
I was hoping to see white ones, but these are cool too because I thought they were more
Yes.
complete.
Yep. Yep.
Usually I've seen
Yeah.
white ones posted on the Wildflower Facebook group and a couple on your website actually.
Yep.
These are so tasty. These are one of my favorites. Actually. The
Dewberry.
dewberry. They're just like raspberries as far as taste goes, but better. If like that's a good way to describe it. They're really low. They creep all along the forest floor. Well, most of the places I found them were on forest floor, especially these exact plants.
Dewberries, yes, we like those.
I do. They're pretty. They're tart, but I like the tartness. Now, here's another one I don't like at all. Actually, people either love them or hate them.
Oh, they're yummy.
You
Oh,
don't like the bake apple?
You
Oh,
pickle
I
them.
don't.
You pickle them in
So
vodka. You pickle them in vodka and leave them
really?
for a
try
bit.
that.
It works great on ice cream.
Really,
Oh my
eh?
goodness.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not for me, unfortunately. So I hope the nice ones I do see get to be eaten by someone.
They're so unique.
Kind of a
No,
unique.
good.
It's a unique kind of sort of. It's a unique orange. It's not. It's hard to describe the color of those.
Yeah.
It is, eh?
Mm.
I'd say like
And
an
the taste.
apricot, I guess.
And
Yeah.
the taste.
Apricot? No.
Now I'll just jump in here for just a second. This harkens back to those mosses with the little star-shaped tops with the
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
male plants there with the spatter guards, what they call them.
Oh, and they look so pretty, but look at them now in this picture.
Not the best picture compared to the last one.
It almost looks like you're in a desert and you just found like a weird succulent or something.
It does
in
actually.
Brazil's
Wow.
mountains.
Yeah, it's a weird perspective going on there.
Yeah, and they're reaching for the sun, aren't they?
They look like it.
Yeah.
Here's some Joe Pye weed. This is a capitulum, a single flower head. Now on the outside, those little petally looking things. Now, John or anyone else might be able to correct me on this one in case I'm wrong, but those flowery things on the outside, those would be the petals. Those are the ray flowers. The inside, you have disc flowers. And it's hard to tell on this species. The best way to see it on are other common flowers like the dandelion or the sunflower, for example, where they're very obvious in difference. These are really pretty. I like this one a lot. So hard to find a very single individual flower. So this one was cool. It caught my eye.
The sort of flat curvy bits at the bottom might be just bracts, but they make up a nice arrangement.
Oh yeah. Yeah, bracts are like phylaries, one of the two, I think.
No.
Here we go. Here's some. I don't know which species this one was. I never fully identified it, but I thought they looked cool because they have the little what looks like fingers coming out of them. I think for the sepals. Again, pronouncing that right.
Yeah, I think it's Biennis. I think it's Biennis.
I think so too, but that's only because going by I've seen so many of them, and this was in a roadside / ditch area, so I'm inclined to believe it is.
Interesting.
This one's pretty interesting. This is the hare's tail or dense cotton grass. Now its label says hairless stage. Yes, this definitely is the hairless stage. This is very early on. This one just this is a male and it just finished blooming, as you can see, because the parts are still attached. But very shortly, yes, it'll start getting nice and hairy.
Looks like paper.
Yeah, they do actually. They're very papery, those bracts and similar structures. This one's nice. I saw a lot of flora arranged here. It just looked really interesting. This is in Spaniards Bay. It's up a place called Ryan's Brook. I don't know if that's familiar to anyone, but there's a bunch of things in this picture on the very bottom. Those are liverworts. They're a type of non-vascular plant. They're not really a plant. I'm not 100% sure what they are. I haven't really studied much of them. On the very left of this picture. What's that, sorry?
They're bryophytes, I guess you could call them.
Bryophytes, yes. In the middle, obviously, a very noticeable fern. And throughout on the right and around them, there's a bunch of different moss species. And on the left, we do have a plant. This is the self-heal. Not flowering yet, though, of course.
Yeah.
This one's nice. I like mint family species a lot because the flowers close up. I don't know if anyone makes this connection right away, but they look very orchid-like, in my opinion.
Sure.
Yeah, I just think they're really
Mhm.
pretty.
They come in white too sometimes, occasionally.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
Now, I put a comment in here.
Yes, actually, it's funny you mentioned that because I just recently found out about that. I was like, oh my God, what's going on with my Willowherb? Yes, I'll let you interrupt here so you can explain more if you'd like.
Well, I'm not going to try right now because it's too complicated. But you see the reference to the Saracenia article?
Yes.
It talks about the same sort of thing in general, but also in clover in the particular article that I wrote back
Oh, cool.
2021. But it explains all this weird bacteria stuff that causes it. It affects a lot of things, including evening primroses.
Well, these are all leaves
Interesting.
affected by
Oh, it's true. I suppose
bacteria.
it's related.
But check the Saracenia volume 23.
Here's some, excuse me, Canada Mayflowers. These ones are under a hand lens. They're pretty small.
Wow.
They're very similar to the ones you'd see in the bog, which are the 3-leaf false Solomon steel. But these are taller. The leaves are larger, I find, and they don't clasp the stem as much.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh.
Here's some bog rosemary.
One of
These
my
are cool. I
favorites.
call them little balloons. Now you
I
can see
love
why they're
them.
called bog rosemary, but do not eat this. It's poisonous.
Oh.
Haven't found this plant in a while, to be honest with you. There's only a couple spots I've seen it. Obviously not looking hard enough.
Yeah, wet areas.
Yes, yes. Now this is what you were talking about earlier with the different bindweed. This one's really pretty. Not near as aggressive as the white form, which is cool. They're really low matted, I find, and they usually see them in brackish water or shorelines.
Yeah, because isn't this one native and the white one is invasive or is introduced?
No, I thought it was native, but I looked on the VASCAN database, and both of them are introduced.
Oh, well, actually, I don't know. That might be a mistake because
Really?
We do have one that's
my
native.
understanding, I mean, they're called American bindweed, so I don't know.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
is the sepium subspecies, the white one. This one's the Americana. I looked under both.
Howard knows well about the white one. This flower bed is completely.
Yeah, this one's definitely nicer, both in look and personality than the one.
Yeah, along the top of beaches, quite often you get the pink ones, and they
Yeah,
just
right?
seem to be happy there.
They do though, eh? Here's some large tamarack to be exact. This is a female strobilus, aka a very young colony. I like the pink of this one, and this was another hard one actually to focus the camera on. Because I remember I don't know who it was earlier just saying about using their cell phone for pictures for small plants. Yes, I have a very hard time with that too. But this one, it works for me. This one's not even under the hand lens.
Huh. Wow.
Very early spring flower, and I noticed a lot of early spring flowers seem to be pink too.
What is it?
Here's some Cornus canadensis again. These are young bracts starting to unfurl. They still have a bit of greenish to them though. So you can tell they're young.
It's different.
And again, you could tell this too. Very wet day. And the flowers inside, none of them have opened up yet. This one, I like this picture. Actually, I thought it turned out really cool. These are the rabbit's foot clovers during the golden hour. Now, this is actually in my garden. I just thought I'd let it grow because it wasn't hurting anyone. And I guess I'm glad I did because look at the nice picture I got from it.
Rabbit's foot, yeah.
Beautiful, Matt.
Thank you. It is, right? There we go. Yay.
It is.
And in the house?
I am in the house.
Okay. Carry on.
Okay, so this is some comfrey that's growing on a little lane near Patrick Street, just down from the church. And I kept going by to try to catch it in bloom. So it's growing out on the sidewalk, probably did escape from a garden long ago, but now it's not near any garden, just literally between a rock, sort of a concrete wall and sidewalk. So I thought that was quite pretty.
Go in
before
the
flowers
Holloway,
open.
go in the old Holloway school grounds up towards the back, or
Yeah,
down near Symes Bridge in Waterford Valley, or different places. It's quite big and robust.
it does, and I keep visiting this plant to see how it's doing, and it did get quite big. So here we have a Chuckley pear. There's my hand. So yes, I think I actually took that this year on our trip with the Wildflower Society while you guys were busy debating what species was what. I just post pictures and let other people identify when it comes to Chuckley pear. I gave up on that one.
Oh, this is the easiest chocolate pear because the leaves are, the
Yeah.
petals are almost round.
That's one of the few that I will guess at. Yeah.
There it comes.
Beautiful.
And there's another one there. So I have learned to
Nice.
hold on to, even though my hand is in the back, it does help you focus, especially in the wind.
Good job.
Mhm.
And again, the leaves. And these grow all around my neighborhood, everywhere. I do have to warn children not to eat them when they do get into berry, but just there's a laneway right across the street from my house that I walk up on my way to work every day, and these flower pretty much all summer.
With you grow them.
I think they're cool looking.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
They are hard to get in focus though too. They're easy to take a far away picture, but
There you are.
and then I love looking at the berries. They do look like, they almost look like Daphne berries. They're shiny and red and yummy, which of course you shouldn't eat them. And I find the leaves get a nice sort of purple, almost black color to them.
Now, this is not the deadly nightshade, but I don't
No.
know. See how old you guys are. CBC Radio used to have a show, and one of the characters in the show was Dudley Nightshade.
Yeah.
Dudley Nightshade. Yes, I remember.
And of course, the other thing that's all over downtown, and one of my favorites, because it's one of the first things to come around, is coltsfoot, which will grow anywhere and everywhere. There's rocks, which is all over downtown.
And it's so pretty if you take it straight on in a close-up. Have you seen that? Yeah.
One of the very earliest flowers
Yeah.
to come out in spring. This is very particularly lovely, this one.
And that I took on our walk, I think. Were we up there in June?
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. So yeah, and I always take the same lady smock in exactly the same spot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you aced that one.
Yeah.
That's a pretty
Do you
one.
know, I came home and there was a lot, there was a whole lot of them in the grass in our backyard.
He hadn't seen them. And this, the bog myrtle. I also took that up on Signal Hill as well, actually. Bog myrtle, America Gaily.
Very nice. Oh,
The males.
It is.
Only 3 months to go to see it again.
I know, right? Well, I'm always in Barring Park in the middle of winter looking for the
little under.
the one that Jean had, yeah.
Oh,
And this was my first shot of a female. I could never find female, and I did get down behind the Geo Center. I see a lot of the male ones, but I don't see the female that often.
There seem to be much fewer always.
it's the same
Yeah.
rock myrtle.
I think I actually did get wet to get that picture because all the males were by the side of the trail.
The red color in that particular, in the female of this, are really hard to get. The red color just almost evades the camera sometimes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, and I didn't know which Salix this was. I just Salix spa, and this I
think it's
believe is up
Bibbs.
by, yeah. A really good
think it's
spot to
Bibbs.
see pussy willows is behind the Geo Center. And
Yeah.
if you go on the right day, like if the wind, because I go behind the Geo Center when the wind's going the other way to get out of the wind, even in winter. And they're there and around some of the ponds, but that's a really nice spot to find pussy willows, and it's fairly sheltered.
The secret of figuring out Bibbs willow is that if you look at under each pussy, there's 3 or 4 like little tiny, almost not leaves, but bracts that are sort of green. There's like there's a little tuft of the green leafy that's underneath the stamens on each one of them. If they don't have that, they're probably a pussy willow. Oh, Me. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Now this is interesting because who takes pictures of witch hazels when they don't have those strappy, wiggly petals? This is what they look like in June. There's still the sort of the base of the flower, but it doesn't have all those little wiggly petals that are colored. And
Yeah,
that's in
I
Bar
keep saying
near
that.
the caribou there.
And
And
it's
it's also a
late,
time
but
of year
look,
when, and they
I'm
also have
sorry.
leaves at that time.
Yeah, that's what I
The
was gonna
leaves,
say. Look how
the
green the
leaves look
leaves
like
are
that.
for so late.
Yeah, the leaves
Yes.
look like that.
There is a
little bit
fall
asymmetrical.
flowering witch hazel as well, if you can catch it. Virginiana, I think.
Yeah,
Some people
there's
they grow around town a little bit ornamentally.
there's one in Nova Scotia in that area that's sort of orangey yellow. Yeah, and that's a fall one.
I grew one, but it was in a backyard, so I can't tell you where to go.
Now, this is a little bit of a story, and I put it in because many of you who from the East Coast will know about Little Soldier's Pond. And Little Soldier's Pond is quite often visited for taking pictures of orchids. It's a lovely spot for orchids, especially fringed orchids. And you know, you go down there and you look at all the beautiful orchids, but the poor little club mosses get, you know, kind of just ignored. And the funny thing about it is probably 95% of the biomass of plants in the bog down there are actually
Little
these things.
Soldier's Pond.
Oh, soldiers, of course.
Yeah, these little things
That was
make up
when
almost
Peter
all the bog.
fell down and couldn't get up again. That was Soldier's Pond.
Yeah.
But they're not to be mistaken for the little baby one, the northern bog club moss, which is much stumpier. Look how short the little um, uh, vertical parts are. So, but if they're short like that, they're the northern bog orchid. And if they're very tall and spindly and they're in that bog, they're the southern bog club moss. And you see how much taller they are. And they're just everywhere there.
Lovely color.
And they tend to grow where there's dried up bog pools at the early season. You can see how goopy and the funny little Drosera, those red bits there. And they're just absolutely everywhere. So the next time you go looking for orchids, have a look at these little guys. They're quite sort of curious. And if you look at that, that's the lower bog. You see some of the sort of the little ruts and places where people run a ATV through or just walk through and stuff like that. They're particularly common there.
What are they called?
Slender. Lycopodia espresso sporting. I don't know.
Apres, yeah, it's the southern bog club moss. So anyway, is Susan Shirk there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you're on.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay, this is I was in Sri Lanka in the fall, and I don't know anything.
We saw it in Portugal, actually.
Of
in their driveway.
From don't know the name of most of these the flowers that I've taken. There's a fabulous place in
I want to finish because
excuse me, we got 2 or 3 people talking here, please. Hello. Carry on, Susan.
Yeah, sorry. I was in Singapore before I went to Sri Lanka, and they have an incredible botanical garden there. It's huge, and it's called Gardens by the Bay, and they are all plants that belong in the area of Sri Lanka, which I had never heard of or seen, and there are a couple of them in here as well. But this is one that maybe you can help me with. I see it in France often growing along the side of the road, and it's known for its multicolors of yellow and red. Does that mean anything to anybody?
It looks like lantana, Susan.
I couldn't tell you, but this is the closest that I've come. What did you think it might be?
Lantana?
Lantana.
Like lantana to me too.
Yeah.
LANTH, is it?
And
Lantana.
Oh,
People
lantana.
also grow it
And a
as an
quick-
annual here, but you'll see it in like on the roadsides in like Spain and stuff as well.
Quick test is just to run your hand over it and see if your hand smells like orange. Lantana is very strongly orangey scented foliage.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
This I just loved. You can see from the shape of it. It does grow in the areas of Singapore. This is in the garden where I saw it. But does anybody have a clue what it might be?
It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
It is.
It looks kind of pitcher planty.
it
Mhm.
does. Yeah, it's got that
It is an
wonderful.
orchid, though. It's
It
It
is.
is. It's an orchid. That much I can say. This one I think it was not
Yanta?
there. I think I took this in Sri Lanka, not in Gardens by the Bay, and the marshlands of the northwestern part of Sri Lanka. So I should rename that one.
So orchids, yeah.
another orchid.
It just was growing everywhere it was plentiful in the marshlands.
So I probably got this wrongly labeled. So this probably was orchids too.
It's what?
Is this orchids too? The ones with the big pouches? They look.
Yes, they're like the moth orchids, the Phalaenopsis, and then in the background you've got the insectivorous, tropical insectivorous climber, the Nepenthes, the traps, just in behind the flowers of the orchid.
Oh.
Yeah. I've forgotten. Is Nepenthes a pitcher plant or not?
It is. Well, it's a tropical pitcher plant, not related to our Sarracenia, but it is.
Oh yeah, no, no, I understand. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah.
Nice mix.
This just grows like bindweed up around various trees. This, unfortunately, isn't a great picture because it really is quite. I don't know whether this is one which would gather the insects that we do, we see with plants here. But it fills with water, of course.
So Michael, is that again a pitcher plant?
That is. It may be a different species from the other one we were looking at, but there's a huge range of them, from very tiny ones to pitchers the size of gosh, you could almost put pour a gallon container into some of them.
Yeah.
They're remarkably diverse, incredibly beautiful. Also very, very big. So we have one in the house that got 14 feet tall.
Wow.
This is one of my favorite pictures just because of the natural composition of it.
Yes, gorgeous.
And the ground cover that it's growing up through.
Wow, it is beautiful. That'd be nice to frame.
It's almost like human. Oh, this is the other bizarre one. You think they're moccasins, or it could be one of the leather pouches that you carry on your back if you were an indigenous person.
Again, another very beautiful looking, when it was fresher, the Nepenthes would be absolutely amazing to look at. Yeah.
Now, we saw something like this earlier on. Somebody else had it. Look, these spiky, the outside flower. This is in a garden. This was very natural. A famous architect named Jeffrey Bawa, internationally known, and he's dead now, but in the most beautiful estate. And he loved natural gardens and always designed things with very much with a natural area in it. And my friend and I were able to have access to his entire property for 3 nights. And much of the ideas that he had for landscaping came. He would do them first at around his house, and then he would do some kind of work in some country and take his ideas. So it was fun to see what he had looked to do on his own property. And this was part of a big pond. Beautiful coloring.
Susan, I think that last flower may have been a cleome, also the ones with the really long anthers.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I can't hear very well on it.
Oh, sorry. The white flower that you showed that had the really long anthers, those are probably cleome, like spider flowers.
Mm-hmm. Has anybody ever seen a rainbow tree before?
Wow.
I had to put it in, even though it was a plant. It is genuinely colorful like this. And it is a drooper like a willow, but the colors are spectacular.
Beautiful.
Hello? Do you see this?
And then this was also in the marshlands, just growing in the water in a whole series of, it's much like we have in Newfoundland. We have scouring when left over from the Ice Age. Like Healy's Pond is just a scour. And it's almost as if it's that way there, but it's all these marshes that are there and have these wonderful wildflowers.
It's a passion flower, a passiflora.
Yeah, yeah. I have no idea what it is.
Looks like a milkweed.
Lovely. Lovely reflections.
Yes, it's very different.
Yes. Now, Clyde.
Clyde.
Yes.
There?
There.
Yeah. Coming up.
Woohoo.
Okay, there's the hemp nettle lived in Be Good Park. Always like those flowers looking at you.
2 odds.
Common mullein, that's in near Mount Pearl, down to the Hotel Mount Pearl burned down.
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
That's in the playground in the back of my house here in Mount Pearl.
Lovely.
That's the fireweed that's fading into fall.
Don't always need flowers.
A lot of color there.
Yeah, there is.
Oh,
Love it.
Oh,
that
Alberta.
is stunning.
isn't
It's
that
Foxville,
something?
Alberta, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
Alberta.
Leduc, Alberta was the site of the first oil strike in Alberta.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. Oh. Oh.
White lily. One of those days I gotta get some rubber boots on so I can get out in the
Yeah.
Or just get on
That's
a,
lovely.
if you just get on a little plastic kayak like I do.
Yes, yes. I've taken them.
This is up in the Hawk Hills. I never went up there for those. I went up there for the second bloom of the diapensia. But these were everywhere, and one thing I like about them, they were on the flat ground. There was no other distracting plants there. And I like to use the wide angle lens in these situations because you can get pretty close and
It's interesting because most people don't take pictures sort of almost looking up at flowers.
yeah.
Different
This
perspective.
one I was
Mm.
laid down on my belly on this one.
Yeah, I love this
And the
photo.
wide angle lens you can get pretty close to, and
Yeah.
it's easy to get it in focus.
Yeah.
Mm.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's very, very different. Mm.
I've never really seen them other than in Searstown. I don't know if anybody has seen these elsewhere, but Searstown is.
Well, I'm down there most every year, and well, I guess it's the time of year.
Yeah.
But that's the first time I see them. I passed by them, I had to turn around and go back.
Yeah.
It looks
How
like
tall?
it looks like a conductor with the symphony orchestra behind.
How tall was that?
That was in August.
These are
No,
great
how tall was the sunflower?
About a couple of feet high.
Okay, not as tall as, yeah, okay. Thanks.
Probably 3.
Mm.
This is in, I looked over the fence. I see these on the Arboretum Trail here in Mount Pearl all the time. They grow in the shade for some reason. So that's why I take the pictures of that. You get the dark background, you can isolate the flower.
Mm. Mm. Nice.
Little soldier's
Mm.
pond. It's hard to get this. There's a lot of these here, but it's hard sometimes to photograph. There's a lot of vegetation around them.
You did a good job.
Real sunny day that day.
Saying, oh yeah. I never learns. I goes out there in the middle of the day when the sun is.
Got to get a white umbrella.
Yeah, yep. I got one. I never forgets to take it with me. This is a ragwort down in Lancelot, and your place is just outside of Grand Bank.
Mm.
And a capital T in that name is correct, by the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this one, I think Howard put me onto this one, or he mentioned it somewhere, but this is in Churchill Square. Very tiny flower. God, I had to, I don't know how many pictures I took to try to get that sharp. That's the only one I got. The rest of them were not good.
Yeah. They're scattered hither and thither. They seem to move around within that general area, but most of them, I guess, are close to that new, 6 or 8 story apartment building they got there in behind that.
This is right next to some stairs there.
Yeah.
I mean, I was surprised to find them there, but
yeah,
I was
over
looking.
towards the old telephone building.
Yeah. Interesting plant.
Yes.
St. Andrews, you're usually not out there in August, but there's a lot of these out there in August. I always find it hard which angle to take that picture. It's either front on or side on. Or... I like the dark backgrounds where you can isolate the flower a bit in that one.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Pretty.
And the wild chicory, that's always down there in Searston. There's a lot of them there.
Searston, where's that?
Conroy Valley.
Oh, okay.
You can
get there, because it's there, you got to take its picture.
Yeah. Sometimes you get them alongside the road up as far as Blue Ponds, the old provincial park there, heading towards Cornerbrook. So it's usually alongside of the road though. Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Just to interrupt, that's the other witch hazel, the one with the yellowy bits on it.
Yeah.
Not the red one.
It's some tricky to get these in focus.
Yes, you did. Good job.
Yes.
I won't tell you how
But
many pictures I took to get that one.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Oops, wait a minute. Okay, Roger,
Yes.
there we go.
Okay, well, I have a very limited selection here because I wasn't out many places where there were flowers this past year. Um, but this is just sort of a nice arrangement along the old railway in Mount Pearl with the asters and knotweed. Um, the colors seemed a little bit washed out here, but they were quite vivid at the time, especially on the asters.
Mhm.
Coming. I must think this is a complicated one. Okay, carry on.
Okay.
There
Yeah, this was interesting. It's not blooming, but it's a Scotch broom, and it seems I guess it's an escape because I've never seen it anywhere else in the province. When we were on our Nova Scotia field trip, we saw some around um, I forget the name of the town, south of Halifax and area. There's apparently an area there where it's escaped and is beginning to be invasive, and people were worried about it. Um, but I've never seen it in this area at all. So I was quite interested to see it here. This is one little patch of it, and it's spreading along the road. This is right at the very end of the road there, but it's spreading back towards Topsail Pond, and who knows where it will go next. It has very nice yellow flowers when it's blooming.
Keep our eye out to that.
Coming.
Holy.
Coming. It thinks it's a very complicated picture. Dear. Nothing yet?
The fireweed always looks like smoke to me when it's like
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, Roger.
And this one is
Okay.
coming along. Okay. Anybody see this?
We can see it. Sticky
Okay.
ground. Roger, are
Yeah.
you with us?
I think we lost Roger.
Roger, you seem to be muted.
How did that happen? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay, yes. This is sticky groundsel, which is normally not very conspicuous, but um, here you're seeing it's appearing in a collaboration with local artists. So, and there's a whole series here. I don't know. I thought John actually wouldn't put these in the show, but I didn't have anything else much to submit. But these are collaborations between the local artist community and the weed communities. And this is at Rollins Cross against um, the old cleaners there, dry cleaners, and you see the wall is painted back and there's a white stripe. There's actually much more to this to the background than that, but I wanted to emphasize the groundsel here, which because I think it's pretty nice on its own.
Well, actually, Roger, I did put in some of the extra pictures, which you'll see in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. No. We'll probably think this is complicated.
Okay, this is along the old railway in CBS. As you're coming down towards Manuel River, and there's a whole bank there. It's difficult to get a picture of it that shows the extent of it, but this is a whole bank where Tansy has escaped, I guess, from someone's garden and is colonizing the area. And Tansy, I think, is a wonderful flower, and it has a very nice well, a very strange scent if you rub the leaves. And so I'm glad to see more of it appearing. So this is another sort of an escape, which maybe is going to become more common in the area, judging by what's happening here.
I think it's pretty common around Gander.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah, I've only seen it one or two places around St. John's.
We do have a native tansy. It's not near so big as this, but
Yeah, there's a close-up of it.
you see, I put it in.
Okay. This is a picture of Doc against the artwork on the off-ramp from the pits onto Water Street. And I think they work very well together here. Took a whole bunch of pictures of this site, but I assume that John only put one and I may only have sent one.
Oh, you don't know me. That's up near the dockyard, is it?
Sorry?
Up near the dockyard.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, because if you just turn around, you're against the chain link fence. This is the retaining wall for the off ramp, and if you turn around, you're against the chain link fence with the container facility behind you.
Roger,
and the old dockyard. Yeah. And
Roger,
here's another. This is the same spot. The dock's looking a little bit different here. It was taken the same day, but it doesn't look as old as it did in the other picture.
Roger, I've wandered up there and taken the same pictures of the same plants against the same background, but mine didn't come out as pretty as yours.
Yeah. Anyway, we're starting to wind down here, boys. So thanks a lot for all your contributions, and I hope this went okay. The timing on some of the pictures, we're working on that problem, but it
Well, great. I've learned a lot.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that, John. Nice pictures, everybody.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Wonderful presentation.
Yes.
You're welcome. Anyway, guys, I guess that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great. Thank you, everybody, for coming and for showing your pictures and describing them. It's been a lovely evening.
Yeah, really
Trying
has.
to remember, we're all scheduled for next month. Probably it would be March, whatever, 11th again. But I think it's Todd talking about bulbs and wherever he saw them. John, do you remember what Todd's talking about?
All I know is it's something about bulbs.
Yeah, me too. Probably somewhere he's traveled, because he's traveled a lot. So I think it's flowers that have grown from bulbs. Anyway, Todd is always a lot of fun. So we'll look forward to seeing you all again next month.
Good night,
Okay.
everyone.
Good night.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night. Yes, wonderful. Great variety.
Wonderful
John?
slideshow. Thank you for hosting.
Yeah.
Okay.
John, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Just before Christmas or just after Christmas on a sunny day, I was walking along downtown, and do you remember that, what was it called, like ivy leaf, toadflax, or eyebright, or I wasn't sure
Oh, the
what it
one
was.
up on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
it was a sunny day, so I actually just went up against the, to get the sun, and I looked up, and the clumps are looking beautiful.
Yeah.
No flowers, but the leaves look I didn't realize that would look so pretty even in the wintertime.
Oh yeah. That's near the Sprout restaurant, right?
Yeah. There's like
Yeah.
4 plants. So what's it called? What's its name?
I don't know. I think some people wallflower or walleye.
Wallflower, you said it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have written, like, I went back to my notes and I went, okay, I know I have a picture of this, and I had toad flax and I had ivy leaved something, so I wasn't sure, but anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks
The species name is muralis, which means wall.
okay.
I
Well,
think it's called, one of the common names is Kenilworth ivy, and it grows all over walls in Europe. It's just almost
Yeah.
like ivy.
Yeah.
I was really surprised when we saw it on our little downtown walk to grow, that it was growing here, because it was sold. One of the nurseries sold it one year, and I got some, but it didn't make it through the winter. But I guess it likes those steps
it's
off
it's
Water
happy
Street
there.
or Duckworth.
Well, and
Strangest,
everybody came out of the restaurant. Go, what are you taking pictures of? And I went,
Yeah.
look, this is this planter, and they're all like, oh, I never saw this before. And it was like looking really happy. It was lovely, absolutely lovely looking plant.
strangest place I've ever seen was out in Turnover Park by the Interpretation Center. Was it Sultan's Brook or something? And it was
Really?
growing in the rocks. We're just outside the building. There's no particular wall there. It was just growing amongst rocks.
Anyway, I'm going to vote for another downtown walk again this summer coming up, and
Yeah, we can
we'll go
do
back
it
on
we can do it at a different time, because I think the last one we did was late in the summer.
yeah,
So we can do an earlier one just to catch the early stuff.
because I do walk around in the spring taking pictures of stuff and then hoping I can get back to see what it grew up to be. So there's I have lots of questions on the early stuff for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Well, thank you, John. Thanks for everything. I
Right.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone.